share the presentation here. Ishrat, a lot of this will sound familiar to you. Rather, everything might sound familiar to you. You might have done it in
No
your
matter.
certification.
It is
But
just a revision for me also.
so let me see how I can make it look a little different. So, we in the previous two sessions, we have understood about what L&D, what is the importance and impact of L&D in an organization. We also did a session on training need assessment, on how training need assessment helps you in understanding the importance of a training and basically in identifying what would be the required training program. Last session we discussed about what are the different methods and tools that L&D uses, which was basically what are the different formats in which knowledge or learning is imparted. It could be training program, it could be self-learning, it could be on the job thing. Now we are moving to a point where we have to design a training program. So now let's say in an organization, we have identified there is a problem, we have done the training need analysis, and we have identified the root causes. We have also chosen what is the mode of training or what method of training are we going to use. Now this is one big challenge that comes. This is here the dependency of L&D starts coming in, where either you go to an outside vendor and check for a training program, ki boss, we need a training on this, do you have it? And they design the program and they do all the serious tasks there. They come up with a training solution, they propose your solution and they execute it. Or else if you have in-house trainers or in-house subject matter experts, they will prescribe you to solve such kind of problem. What is a good training program, or what should a training program cover, what should the training program focus on? So instructional design is a method that helps you identifying what should a training program be focusing on, what should be the different components that are covered in a training program, or how the program is structured so that it is not only engaging, it also delivers the impact that is expected. I have broken this into two. Today we will talk about the broad outline of how a program is designed or what are the things that are kept in mind. In the second part, probably in the next session, we will talk about the different instructional design principles and methodologies that are very prominent. We'll see if we are able to do this fast. Maybe we'll cover some of them today only. So we'll see how a training program is designed. Now, what are the key steps? What is the first step when you're designing a training program? What is it that you need to keep in mind? First and foremost, which is very important, who is the audience of your training, or who is the recipient? Does not matter what you are training, but yes, what matters the most is whom you are training, what is their purpose, what is the problem that you are trying to solve, and the treatment changes. So again, like before the session, we were discussing about the doctors and also it happens, I might have a fever, but when the doctor is prescribing, there is no standard medication for a fever. He would see what my medical conditions is, or what are the different allergies and reactions that I have, or what are the other diseases that I have. Accordingly, they will prescribe a medicine. Same goes with the training. Whether this audience is a fresher, whether this audience is an experienced person, who is the audience, what is their background, and depending on that, only you can design a solution. One training program cannot solve everyone's purpose. Let's say a senior profile would not want a too much of a theory or a very guided kind of a session. They would believe more in case study kind of approach where they want to see what impact is and what measure is. So first and foremost, which is very important, is to know who your audience is. Second, equally important, what is their pain area. Unless you are addressing that pain area, they may not be interested in your solution. And if you see, we all have studied, when we were studying, we were liking some subjects, we were not liking some subjects. The subjects that were not liked by us were not bad, or the program that we didn't like was not bad, but yes, it never interested us. So each individual is different, their requirement is different, their you know, if I you can use that word, their taste is different. And we need to match that. So we need to know who our audience is. We also need to know what kind of learner are they. Some of the people find classroom training to be too boring. Some people find it important. Some people want self learning very important. They are a good learner. They read and learn. Some people find reading books very boring. So there are different learner styles. We'll do a bit on it. There are different style of learners. I'm sure Ishrat, you would be remembering something of those sorts that you would have done in your
It,
certifications.
it was a LSP.
Pardon?
The main tool was a learning style. LSP I used to call it.
Correct, correct. So, so
It's,
different
it's
learning
just judge
styles.
about how you learn.
Every individual is different. Some people enjoy, they always play music while studying. Some people may find it very destructive. Some people read it and know. Other people want to do it and know. Some people have this habit of learning by doing. Some people learn by studying. So you need to know who your learner is, what their learning styles are, what their pain area is. Then based on this, you define the performance measures. What are the performance measure what that needs to be achieved? Each individual needs to achieve something, no? So it's like when we are studying because we have our career goal with us. We are doing graduation because we wanted to have a degree. We were under an impression that degree will get us a job. So what are the performance measures, and accordingly, the program get changed. Then we identify what are the root causes which you need to solve. Define what are the TLOs and EOs. TLO is also known as terminal learning objective. EO is enabling objective. This is the outline of the program. Once this is done, you go ahead and create the program.
What is a TLO?
TLO stands for terminal learning objective. By terminal learning objective.
Okay.
By doing this program, what are the broad things that you will learn? The outcome of the program. We define the outcome of the program, no? Or the objective of the program. Let's say you did a training program on time management. So what is the goal of the program? What is the end objective of the program? Maybe each individual will start managing their time well. They'll be able to schedule their activities well. These are the learning objectives of the program. What is it that you are trying to achieve? Is the learning goals or learning objective?
To achieve these goals, what are those activities or what are those 10 things that you will learn to achieve this objective is known as enabling objective.
Okay.
So learning objectives are your learning goals. Enabling objectives are those elements that you will cover in your program to enable these learning objectives. Got it?
Yeah, yeah. Got it.
Lakshmi is not speaking.
No, I got it, sir. I had the same question which Akalia had.
Achha. So it is same to same. Good. So once your TLOs and EOs are clear, creating a program becomes very simple. You know what is to be achieved. To achieve this, what is to be done? Just the content needs to be stuffed in. So this is also a structure of a training program. How do we define performance measures? Competencies and bars are majorly used here. We need to identify the competencies for each job role that we are learning, that we did in the competencies. We identified the competencies. We create bars for each competency, and that was used to set the performance criteria. So like let's say an individual is not able to perform well. Now I'm just trying to give you an example how we use it. Let's say Akalya is a recruiter, but her performance is not so good. How do we identify or how do we measure what is, and we measure what is the gap? So first thing is we identify the competencies that there is a separate method for it. We'll come to it. I'm just giving you an overview of it. We identify what are the competencies needed. We identify the competencies which needs attention. Maybe she is not able to communicate well. Maybe she is not able to negotiate well. Maybe she is not very convincing. So we identify the competencies that need attention. We have the behavioral benchmarks, we check that. And based on those behavioral benchmarks, we set the performance criteria and then we evaluate. So let's say if convincing, we have a level called competent. Setting a performance criteria is like she needs to perform at a competent level. And then it becomes easy. We can evaluate whether her performance is competent or not. And this is how we identify the gaps in the training or the objectives of the training program. Otherwise, it's a biased program. A boss who Akalya is not able to recruit well, her performance is not good. Let us train her on recruitment process. She might be well aware of the process. There might be some other root problem or the main problem which is impacting her performance. So a real learning and development thing is to identify the root causes or the causes impacting the performance and addressing them. And that's how a training program is designed. So if you see, I don't know if you guys have come across a situation or not, because I have been a part of L&D for quite a long. The requirement used to come to us was, so we have to train our Java developers. Now Java is a ocean. What do we teach in Java? No, their performance is not good. Do one thing, you take an assessment. So we used to create a test, take their technical test, and basis the answers that they gave, and we used to evaluate it. And then we used to identify what areas they are weak on. And then we used to create a program focusing on those areas. So it's like, why do we create trainings? Because there is some gaps there which we need to fill in. So this is how we first identify what are the real causes that is causing these gaps. Then we create a program.
Um,
Yeah,
Sir,
Rakhi.
I just have this one question I should have asked when we were doing it,
Uh,
doing bars actually.
mhm.
Do you have any assessment papers of, of bars? Because,
Assessment papers means.
like, for example, behaviorally,
Mhm,
how do you assess?
mhm.
So, of course, we have created the bars for every role,
Uh,
okay, for every competency,
okay.
okay. But when you're doing measures, okay.
Mhm,
So for example, if it's a performance review,
mhm,
okay, the manager might just come up and give me some inputs
mhm,
that these are the things that this person has not done. For
mhm,
example, let's say if there is some lagging in communication,
mhm,
okay, this person doesn't really understand that there could be an assessment like that,
mhm,
okay. But when you're doing it for training,
mhm,
how would you benchmark that? So of course there are some assessments that are done,
mhm.
right? Of course you
See,
might
that's
go
what,
and
that's
talk
what,
to the managers, but what
correct. We
are there
will,
any other
there are tools,
okay,
and one such tool we are going to discuss next. But generally also, if it is not for training, let's say performance review also, we follow a self-assessment method.
right,
So each individual has to fill their own assessment. They
right,
have to assess themselves on these competencies.
right,
And they say, let's say in communication, I'm competent.
right,
The role wants them to be competent, and they claim themselves to be a competent.
hmm.
And to justify their rating, they give certain examples.
Hmm.
And their examples is from their
Work,
work.
right,
Now, when the manager sits there, manager sees those examples. Either he accepts it, yes, you have done this, and he accepts the rating, or manager says, no, this was just one or two odd situations, but majority of other times you are not competent. And then he quotes the examples when you are not competent. So what happens is it brings a objectivity in the system. It's not a subjective thing. कि Akalya says, I'm good in communication, and Ishrat is the boss says, no, Akalya, your communication is not good. Arey, why do you think your communication is good? Justify it. And why Ishrat feels your communication is not good? Let him also justify. So it
but is this
becomes
the
more objective.
only way, is this the only way to measure behavioral
See, this is where we are evaluating the previous trends.
uh,
Otherwise, there are psychometric assessments also. They pose questions to you, and the way you answer, they check what level you have.
yeah. So we can use those assessments here as well,
You
other
can
than
use,
the ratings. Okay,
correct.
okay.
But why those assessments may not be too realistic is because you have to give answer in that moment. No, your performance was not good in the past, which we are trying to deal with. We are trying to understand why your performance was not good. So we are kind of analyzing the previous or the past situation, and which is where this kind of review is done. What have you done, or what are you supposed to do? What are the gaps? And then a specialist sits and say, this could be the reason why these gaps are there. So those are behavioral things. Let's see.
So,
Tell me.
isn't it very time consuming and it takes a lot
It
of time?
is. It is time consuming. It is time consuming. It is a costly method, but it is the most, which
Uh,
gives you most.
Sir, I'm getting call.
Please take it.
Yeah.
1 second, just.
Hello. Oh, yeah.
Huh. So yes, Lakshmi, this is time consuming. This is costly, but this is appropriate. This is very to the point.
I think this is the only tool to just analyze the behavior of any person,
Correct.
because we haven't come to any other tool apart from it. So that's the
It's
importance of this psychology and
see,
psychometry.
it is
Just
like
gain attendance, this attention in HRM.
getting into the detail of it, ki why this problem happened. Otherwise, it is all perception, it is all bias. So, but yes, it is time consuming, it is costly.
Even for very, yeah, even if for the very senior roles, they are using projective test actually. That is very time consuming, but
What
it
test?
can get
Benu,
out
sorry, Benu, what
from
test
the
for
unconscious
seniors?
mind of a person also.
Ishrad,
It can differentiate also
Voice was
the thing what is
breaking.
happening.
Ishrad, Lakshmi just asked what test you are talking about.
For senior people, because the voice was
HTP.
breaking.
HTP. Right now, is it?
Yeah, it is fine.
It's fine.
Okay. So there are many tools like which is being used where the famous tool is Rorschach test. It is being used in clinical psychology, and this one is I think HTP is more used. House tree and person.
See, there are so many psychological tools. The problem is it's only a specialist can use them.
That, that's true.
What I'm talking about is very basic that we can use, but this is very effective. How do you arrive at? You know, if you see LinkedIn, a lot of people keep writing, I've been jobless for so long, I'm not getting a job. Please put a like, put a comment on it. And I see people keep doing it. I know two, three people who share a lot of profiles so that they get a job. But if you do the root cause analysis, they are not getting job. Is it because there are no requirements in the market? There are requirements, no? They are not doing the root cause analysis ki why they are not getting a job. That is what we are talking about. Just a training may not, any training may not do. You need to identify what are the factors that can impact. It's like कि you have a fever. ठीक है, it's a fever. Sometimes they give you medicine for fever, fever still doesn't come down. I have suffered this. No, I had a fever. This is way back, and I had a high fever, and I had a lot of cough and all. I went to a nursing home. A doctor was there. The place where I was staying at, it was in Noida, and he gave me medicine. He gave me high doses. The moment I took medicine, the fever came down. Within 10-12 hours, I get again shot back. And this drama went on for 3-4 days. The situation became worse. If I walk even 10 steps, I become breathless. My office was just across the road, hardly a kilometer and a half. I could not walk. I had to take a rickshaw for office and then back to home. I went to another doctor. He saw that. He was talking to me. And I'll just tell you the questions he asked. He said, Vivek, you are insured. I said, but why this question? Well, I just asked it. Do one thing, get your X-ray done. And I was like, boss, I have a fever. Why is talking about X-ray? I did the X-ray. He saw the X-ray and then he said, you get admitted. I was like, sir, what is it? Today, Vivek, you have an early stage of pneumonia. And I don't know where you are going. Your pneumonia is getting worsened. You get admitted today, I'll cure you in 2-3 days, or else you're out, you have gone for 20-25 days. And really it happened. Third day he discharged me from the hospital and I was fine. I had a fever. The first doctor treated the fever. He forgot or he ignored the root causes of the fever. He assumed it to be a normal fever. And that happens in training also. If we have missed on the root causes of the training does more damage than good. See how the psyche is. A person is not able to sell. A person is not able to sell not because he doesn't have a selling skill. Maybe his product knowledge is little poor. And to improve his selling, you give him a sales training. You get him in a room and for 2 days, you teach him how to talk to customer, how to listen to him, how to explain him. Do you think his sales will improve?
No. We haven't identified the root cause.
He will even become worse because now he has got an attitude. Or he will get a feeling, boss, I'm not able to sell. Because the root cause no one talked about it. And that is the problem. So training is useful and helpful only when we address the root causes. If it is not about the root causes, then it doesn't make any much impact. Got it, Lakshmi?
Yes, got it, got it.
ठीक है. Let's move ahead. How do we identify what are those root causes or the training needs? Rumbler Brash has given a model. They have a 9-box model to identify the causes of the training or the causes of bad performance. The organizational analysis and need analysis is done using this 9-box model, wherein the analysis is based on 3 levels of performance. The 3 levels are performer, process, and organization. So first is performer, who is the individual. Second is the process, the whole function or department. And finally comes the organization. And each of this level has 3 performance dimensions. One dimension is goal, one is design, one is management. So like performer will have 3 dimensions: goal, design, and measurement. Management. What is goal? What is your individual goal? You as an individual, organization would have given you some goal or target or something that you wish to achieve. Process is the methods that you use to achieve your goals. Management is, the goals, and then what is the design or the methods that are you're using, and management is how do you measure it.
Sir, if you could just give with any example of, can we take an example of,
I'll come to example. Let's
sir,
take what we are doing in Edmingle.
okay.
Okay. There is an organization, there is a department, and there is a performer. As an organization, Edmingle wants to achieve something. Their overall goal is to be a technology partner with all the training companies or whatever the vision is. I'm just broadly taking it. Sales could be a process. Sales could be a process that takes them towards their goal.
So sales would be department or goal?
Where is the department here?
Sales is a process, right?
Sales
Process.
is a process,
Okay.
and performer is an individual who is working in that or a role. Got it?
Okay, okay.
Now each individual, let's say let's take your friend Surbi. She would have some goals. To achieve these goals, she is using some methods. An organization has put some scale to it to measure whether she's working correct or not. Let me show you by an example.
Mm.
This is that 9-box model or 9-box grid that we use. We have goals, designs, and management. We have organization, we have process, we have performer. So the level is organization. Performance dimension is goal, design, and management. So what is organization? The goal is strategy, operating plans, and metrics. Design, the organization is structure and overall business model. There's a very, very broad outline. Management, performance review practices. What are the methods that you use to measure the success of it? Similarly, process. The goal for process is customer and business requirement. Design is process design, system design, workspace design. And again, management is the process ownership, process management, and continuous. I'm just taking a very broad layout of it. I'll show you an example also. But you first have to understand this.
Understand, yeah.
So similarly, performer. What are the goals for performer? Maybe the job specification that you have given, the performance metrics, the individual development plan. So whatever the goals are. That would be
So-
some designs or methods. Yeah, Lakshmi.
So performer here will be individual performance and as well as a team also, right?
Individual.
Individual, okay.
So job roles, these are the designs, skill requirement, procedure, tools. Management is again performance feedback, consequences. How do we measure it?
Okay.
I'll stop this for a while. Now I'll show you an example, and then you will get a better clarity. 1 second.
Oh, I wanted to say, sir, my uncle is found.
Oh, when?
He has gone to his brother's place in Coimbatore.
Okay.
What happened?
He,
Sorry, I missed something.
So he himself called or you guys reached out to him?
no, the relative in Coimbatore had called us.
Ach. So now everyone is relaxed.
No, my cousin sister went to pick him up and bring him, and she's got high fever and cold with her kids.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So they all are home quarantined.
Oh.
He went to railway station and he was there for 2 days.
COVID is, I don't know when it will go, and then they are already talking about the third wave.
So I believe Japan is having 4th wave. Is it true?
I don't know. I don't watch news.
Okay.
Let me share this screen. Hmm. This is one Ramla Brash model that I had done when we were in Tally, we were creating it. Though I just gave it a different name. The purpose was, I'll give you a little background on why we did and what we did.
If you don't mind, can you just give me a background about what this is? I'm sorry, I missed. I went on a call.
Okay. See, first is this is a tool. We call it a Rumbler Brash model or it's a 9-box model. This is a tool to identify the root causes of a performance gap. If an individual is not performing or what we were talking about, no, you were talking about a tool. How do we identify
अब
that?
colleagues for ले.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
So this is one method which is, it has three levels, which is organization, process, and performer, which has three performance criteria or
So, does this fall under training need analysis?
yes, it
Okay.
helps you identify what are the root causes of training
Hmm.
based on which you can design a training program. Let's go through this example. Maybe it will add some more clarity to it. So this we had. So I have taken a hypothetical name. Okay, let's say a software technology, some training company. The root cause was that company had launched a new product. The sale was not very good. The sale was not good. We were trying to see what is the reason why the sales is not good. We wanted to train our salespeople so that the sales can be picked up. We use this to identify what could be the possible causes of low sales. So we had organization, process, and performer, goals, design, and measurement. So organization, what was the goal? Increase in customer base by 100% in order to achieve a revenue target of 200 crores per annum by 216. And this was 15 when we did it. This was the goal. The design was to determine the size and scope of the proposed expansion and plan commensurate infrastructure and manpower requirement. In case you have to look for 100% increase, you need to have a proposed plan and you need to have the right infrastructure and right manpower in place. That was the design issue. Management was how do we measure it? Assess the extent of target reach, evaluate goals through walk-in to enrollment ratio analysis. So basically we used to walk in how many inquiries have come in, how many inquiries have approached us directly and how many of them got converted or how many of them basically became customer. That was the method of measuring it. So organization has three levels or three criterias. Process will have three. So what is the process goal? Introduce more product features to target medium and large businesses across the country. What was the design? Product and process standards and this is where we tried finding out where were the gaps. All these dark portions were where we found the gaps. Okay, the design was product and process standards are not benchmarked and transparent policies and practices to support performances are lacking.
How did you find this gap, sir?
Because we interviewed the employees, we observed the situation, we went to the customer. It was a very extensive process. Though actually doing it, we didn't use it. This was because I was also learning as my learning project, we created this. But yes, the reality was when we took like let's say product sale is less. How will you increase a product sale? So we identified that we were a monopoly product. Roughly 80 to 85% of the small businesses or medium businesses were operating on our product. There was no way that we can increase the sale there. Saturation was there. So we thought we will launch some new product that could cater to a larger audience or to a different segment where our penetration was not there. Now we found we have people to sell. We all also have a product, but still people are not buying it. So why? Because the product and process standards were not benchmarked, and transparent policies and practice to support performance were lacking. It was working more on assumption. On the management perspective, we said the nominal process evaluation to determine standard resource usage levels. It is generally left to the branch managers to evaluate. There was no scientific method to evaluate why a customer was not buying. We were sitting in the head office. There were 13 regional offices into multiple different cities. The sales people were there. We had no measurement method to know what was the real reason why this is not happening. All we had was a bias or a perception from the manager, the regional manager. Yes, sir, the people are not going to the field, or they're not buying it, or something. There were excuses, but there were no justified methods for it. So what happens when there is no proper measurement method? If there is no proper measurement method, you will never know the impact, no, why it is happening or why it is not happening. So let's say I'm training you people. Now, how do I measure whether you have learned it or not?
Our output in the project.
That is an assessment, that is a kind of assessment that we are using. When you are not able to create a JD or not writing good policy, you understand now there is a gap. The purpose is not to find faults, purpose is to help you improve it. So we have a measurement method or a management method. Otherwise, we will struggle. And same goes to the performance level. If you see, if we take Edmingle case only, so far I have only been individual feedbacks. Today I gave the first feedback to Ishrat. Abhi I have
Yes.
not even shared the feedback to Lakshmi also.
Yes.
Because I was more worried about the organization level. And I am trying to fix it and it is getting fixed up. Now they are creating something. Now my thing is performance level. And this is where I'm getting into individual thing where we discuss the JDs. Hopefully we should be able to wind it by tomorrow. I haven't yet seen the policies. After your discussions today, by evening, whatever changes you are doing, do it and send it to me so that I can also go through it.
Yes, sir.
Because what I saw yesterday, I found it to be too generic. I didn't find it for Edmingle. It might be good also for Edmingle, but I still didn't find it because I don't know how much of Edmingle you have thought while creating this.
True.
And that is what the performer level. So we
Good.
we check each level and each thing, and then we arrive at where the gaps are. This is a method to do. Many a times we don't use such method because the problems are simple and problems are very obvious. The problem when do we need to get into it? When we do not find an obvious things to measure, then we need to get into it. Otherwise, mostly the training performances in the organization, every problem is not so critical. So typically, a team leader knows. But yes, if there are critical issues, we need to do this. Even the assessment center designs would use this. And as I said earlier, assessment center, again, it's a time consuming and a costly affair.
But sir, what I understood is that to find the gaps in the design and management, it can be only person with a good experience, right? Maybe
Of course, of course.
long, yeah.
The experiences, the challenges that you have faced. Yes, Akhilya.
What does exactly design mean here?
Design is also what methods are you using to achieve this? You have a goal. So let's say organization ka aisa hai ki increase in customer base by 100%. If that is the goal, what is the design that you are using to achieve this goal? And design could be increasing the salespeople, going to different territory, coming out with a different product. There could be so many other designs.
Yeah, but here, I mean, those methods are really not mentioned, right? We are mentioning what is lacking. For example, in process, if you go and see,
Because I'm just showing the report that I made. First is, it is not as simple like this. You first create a broad outline of it, ki what should be the design, and then you write your findings. And then I took a shortcut here because in policies I directly wrote, you'll have to do an exercise on this to understand this better. You'll have to first set the framework. You'll have to first set the benchmarks. If this is the design, what are the process? What are the methods that you're planning? And then you come at what could be the possible reasons or what are the reasons that you found out which is resulting into this uh, poor performer or low performance. Let me just see if I have that or not, or else I'll have to.
because I was kind of getting confused between design and management. So when you
See,
talk about
management is basically how do you measure it, or what are the methods that are using to measure it.
but that is design, right? Methods to
No, no. Management is how do you measure it. Design is maybe a process. Wait, I'll try to showcase another thing. Let me just have this. You see this? Now, if you see, I have this is the broad layout of it. Now, if you see process only, the goal was to introduce more product features to target medium and large businesses across the country, identify best practices in the industry. The design is use benchmarks to set product and process standards and develop policies and practices to support performance. What design you will use to achieve your goals?
So
And
so,
yeah, tell me.
use benchmarks to set the product and process standards means. So, what
You
is it?
are you The goal was we will roll out new product features. So, but what features would be good for it? How do you arrive at what features are good or what features are needed in the market? Or what features? So you need to set the benchmark for it, no? Otherwise, you'll add some features because you have to add a feature. Benchmarks is setting up how is that feature going to help a business, and what is the standard that they follow, or what is the how they are going to deliver a value. So that is the design. Management was evaluate process to determine standard resource usage level, use feedback to improve efficiency and quality. We take feedback on the product and we evaluate the performance of it. And this is the broad layout that we were setting. Okay, this is how we will measure. The earlier image that I showed you was the one that had the findings that we got. And these findings helped us in identifying what were the gaps. And to bridge those gaps, we designed a training program to bridge that gap. I understand this would still be confusing, but the only way to solve that confusion is to do an exercise on it. In general cases, these may not be used. Like I'm telling you, when we were doing in Tally, we never used this. We did the surveys. We went to the prospective customer also, we went to our network also. We collected a lot of feedbacks and we came to know what was the problem. This we just used, we created it because it was a learning thing that I was doing. So not this model is used extensively. It is used in cases where identifying is where we need to use a better scientific approach. It also depends on the size of the organization. Tele was a smaller organization, lesser number of activities. We were able to identify what were the gaps. But to do with large organization where transactions are more, you might have to use such scientific methods. Today, Ishrat is quite.
This part is really something I would just like to add.
Hmm.
I learned about that Mager pipe model.
Hmm.
And it's just a new thing for me,
Hmm.
a Rumler Bragg model.
Hmm.
So I'm just understanding about it, how it is working.
Okay.
Have we
They,
done it in this OD intervention also, like this 9-box model?
I haven't worked on OD interventions much.
I'm just remembering actually it was there in 9-box model
Nine-box model would be there in so
for
many
the
things.
organizational assessment they used to.
This would be used.
So that's why I'm just disconnecting over here. I had learned more about this Mager pipe model.
This is just a tool.
Yeah.
So it would be used. And but in a general circumstance or scenario, we don't require such large tools.
Exactly.
It is when the transactions are more, when the numbers are more, this is where we get into this scientific model. Otherwise, training need analysis is more of taking the feedback and getting understand. It's more of a specialist. So like when we did this in Tally, that really how we solve it. We didn't do this.
I believe there might be some questionnaires attached to it so that we can come out with this 9-box model. The means total analysis of those things.
Let me find out. Let me find it out.
I'm just
We
wondering.
we we did we did we used multiple tools. We'll come to it one by one. But For Tally, we wouldn't need to use this. What we did was we went to the prospects, took a feedback from them. We went to our channel, took a feedback from them, and we took a feedback from these salespeople, and we arrived at a problem. And you know what was the problem? They were good salespeople, but the kind of customers they were dealing with till now were small and medium businesses. Now, in a small and medium business, the hierarchy is small. It is easier and faster to reach to a decision maker, and decision becomes simple because the price of the product is also low. When we were going to the large customer, the product size, the product price was high. Large businesses have their own structure, they have their own large hierarchy. The sales people were not able to penetrate this. They were using the same behavior of small and medium businesses and going to the large business. Bulk of them were not even able to move ahead of the admin team. And this is where we created a program on sales to train them on how to reach out to that. And that I'll share with you. So if this model is more confusing, keep it aside for some time. Understand what if let's say you have to understand the role first. You have to set the performance standards for it. I'll share one example with you. After the session, I'll share one small document with you which will have all these steps. What was the problem? What were the competencies that we identified? The bars for those competencies, assessment of it, then I designed a training program with terminal learning objective and enabling objective. And that will be able to add more clarity to it. I think I shouldn't have covered this because this, instead of solving it, this has created more confusion.
No matter. Actually, we are just understanding the conceptual level,
Hmm,
how it's working, and
Hmm.
these two are the examples where you have said the things.
Correct. So
I was just wondering that there should be some questionnaire behind it, so that we can come to a conclusion. And somewhere it is a part of a teamwork.
correct.
Then only we can come to the individual things like filling all the 9 boxes.
Hmm.
What was the means the last conclusion of it?
Teamwork means.
Teamwork means for the entire organization
Hmm.
we have done such a assessment, and then we have come to a conclusion over it.
See, we had a focus while doing it.
Okay.
The focus was sales. The sales team not able to deliver. If you see, the goals were built around that.
Yes.
So we saw the organization goal, then the process and the performer, and we only spoke about the sales team.
Yes.
We were not worried about what marketing is doing or what product is doing or what R&D is doing. We had a problem that sales people are not able to sell it.
Right. Yeah.
And that was the problem that we were trying to solve. So we don't need to factor those many factor things. So yes, to arrive at it, we need to understand what the organization goals are. For that, we may have to interview the people. We may have to do a questionnaire. Same case with Edminger. What are we doing? Why did we create a survey form?
Just to get the pulse of the organization.
Now, if you see, we did a survey form
Yes.
and then we failed to derive the objective of it because we found the survey was limited to that individual only. We were not able to connect it with the organization, which is where we asked the management to share their information. Now, when we are doing it, now after the discussion I had with you and when Prashant called me up, we had a pretty detailed discussion on product manager in UI UX.
Okay. Okay.
Now he is bringing the change here. Now for each job role, he will give you what is the objective, what are the broad responsibility, whom is this position reporting to, and then the other outcomes. So
Sure.
this will add more clarity to you to do that. So yes, questionnaire or interview, some tool would be used to get this information. Yes, Lakshmi.
Continuing the discussion, what we're talking now. So maybe a job survey should have had 3 steps, no, sir? Like how we are saying, the organization process and the individual's contribution. Could have it been done like that?
How? Can you just elaborate it a bit?
Sir, the job survey analysis which we gave for Edmangle, right?
Uh-huh.
So we only gave it at individual base, right? We could have had it throughout the process, through communication and organization. We could have
Correct.
gone,
We
we could have gone more.
that was the first feedback that I got. No, when I saw that,
Okay, okay. So,
we are focused. We have missed the organization perspective.
mhm.
We were only focused on the individual. Boss, what are you doing? We forgot what does organization want them to do, and accordingly we would have done. Plus, Admingle is in a complete mess. Genuinely, the employees are not clear what are they supposed to do. They have been asked to do everything, and this is where even management is struggling to give me the details. No,
Even they haven't responded on the things that we asked them.
they are working on it.
Now they had started working on it.
See, because they were skipping it, they were avoiding it. कि नहीं अभी this is urgent, अभी this is where I said no. I created a separate group, and then I noticed that this girl had sent us mails only. They were trying to reach out to you people directly.
Hmm.
Their objective was to escape me.
Pardon?
Their objective was to escape me and to reach to you people directly, and you create and give them something.
That's
Oh,
why I kept you
And
in.
I could have kept silent, but eventually it wouldn't have helped anyone because anyways, whatever you were creating was not up to the point
Sure.
because we were missing these things. Now the document, hopefully today it will come. It will give you more clarity on it
Yeah.
because they themselves don't have the clarity.
why don't we take it like this, sir? Maybe the initial phase was creating an insight for them and for us also insight.
It is. See, it's always learning.
Mm,
So each mistake also makes you learn something.
correct, sir.
So that's all learning exercise.
True, sir, true.
Kalya is wondering what they are discussing and they're not even involving me.
This thing.
Awake,
Let's come back to the point.
awake or slept?
Half sleeping mode.
Actually, I'd like to see you once. How do you look like? Because I've been only
Oh.
seeing your black screen and to your name, not seen you as a person.
She's a smiling face.
I have not
Wait.
seen, sir.
Wait, let me just
Wait,
come.
Abhi,
Let me switch on.
let her wash the face. Let her
No,
Let
I'm
her-
always in that mom
her-
mode.
let her
Please-
make.
My pajamas and my
Please
t-shirt.
take your time.
है ना? Till that time we'll come back to it.
Sir, after the class is over, hi, nice to see you, Akalya.
Hi.
अब सो
Am I
गए नहीं.
visible completely or?
हाँ नहीं बिल्कुल. We are awake.
Yeah, okay.
We can see you. Chalo. Lakshmi, what were you saying?
So after the class gets over by 6 p.m., I'll send you. I and Pragya, we have worked in 3-4 document sheets.
Which policy?
Induction, sir, induction.
Induction. What will happen to recruitment?
I'll do that and give it
No,
by
no.
tonight, sir.
You will do it, but how are you doing it? How are you personalizing it with Edmingle?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, initially what I sent was all other people's policies and what is this the right way to go about was for discussion, is this like what can be added? It was not tailor made for Ed Bengal. But today after the internal team call, I think a lot of insight had come for me that how to make it tailor made for Ed Bengal, like what would be appropriate, what could be avoided, what could be, suggested. That's all.
But in this tailor-made, did Edmingle appear in some place?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. After the internal meeting, I and Pragya, we had another call and we were sitting and working on each line by line.
Call between two of you. Involve Edmingle also somewhere. Take inputs from them. Otherwise,
Yeah, I wanted to discuss that, sir. Maybe who do I discuss with?
Sushmita,
Smita is there.
Okay.
if she doesn't have the answer, she'll get you the answers.
Okay, sir. So I think are they working tomorrow or it's
If we are working, they will also work.
okay,
Anyways,
Ultimately, we are working for them.
anyways, it is phone call.
take it, sir.
है ना? चलो. Now
So I can involve Sushmita, right? That is what I had of my
you have to.
yeah.
Otherwise, they can disown the solution. They can disown the solution also. Chalo, enough of confusion after Ramlar Brash. Let's come to terminal learning objective.
Yes,
This is very simple. What is the goal or what is the objective of a training program that you are trying to create? Very simple, we used to start it with an objective or program outcome or training outcome, learning outcome. These are those learning objectives. Why are you creating this program? What is it that you are trying to achieve? So the terminal learning objective or goal is a statement of instructor's expectation of participants' performance at the end of a specific lesson or a unit. The TLA is written from the perspective of what the participant will do, not what the instructor will do. It is not an index of a chapter or a book. It is not about what you are going to teach. It is about after learning this, what will the learner do? Or what is the impact or outcome of the program? And that is what a learning objective is. So when you are designing a training program, the objective of program is not that you will teach the salesman how to do a sale. The objective would be the salesman will be able to do a effective sale. Or if you want to make it measurable, the salesman will bring 10% increase in the sales by doing this program. So those are learning objectives. The learning objective they consist of three parts: the conditions, task, and standards. There's so much of cold, no? मुझे डॉक्टर का याद आ जाता है. I saw his face. चलो, come back. So TLO is basically, to simply understand, if you are designing a training program, why are you doing it? And it is not a very broad or a generic thing that sales will improve. There has to be specific goals of the training program. Sales will improve by this percentage, or let's say customer satisfaction will increase by this number, or number of customer will improve. Whatever it is, you need to have a clear, measurable, observable, and precise outcome of it. And this outcome will help you design a training program. If you have taken a learning objective as, a salesman should be able to increase the sale by 10%. That is the learning objective. Now, how will a salesperson increase the sale? We've already done the root cause analysis. We already know the factors where he's lacking. Then you identify what are those 5 things that he should do in order to increase the sale. Those 5 things would be your enabling objective. You focus, your program must focus on those enabling objectives because these enabling objectives will help him arrive at those learning objectives. Does this give some clarity?
Yes, sir.
Kalya?
I'm just trying to assimilate the difference between an enabling objective and a terminal learning objective. So,
Okay.
for example,
Mhm.
if we say that like customer satisfaction is something that we can definitely not put an terminal learning objective because there are various other factors in it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but we can always say, okay, so there would be an increase in sales by 10%.
Mhm.
Okay, so if that becomes a TLO,
Mhm.
what would be an enabling objective for that is what I was thinking.
So now to increase sales by 10%, what all he should do? Now you are an expert. You are an expert and you are able to, you are designing this. Now the question is, if you have to increase 10% of sale, what action should you do now that you were not doing in the past that will help you improve this? Or let's say, chalo, we'll keep it simple. What was your role? What is your current role? The new organization,
Mine, it is talent acquisition specialist.
talent acquisition. And what is it that you are measured on?
The number of closures that I do,
Okay.
the target.
Assuming that the number of closures that you do are less. Your performance is below par. And now organization wants to see and let's say now what could be the reasons why your conversions are less. The reasons could be maybe the sourcing is not right. The kind of candidates that are coming to you are not of good quality. What would be the possible reasons for low conversion? The quality of candidate is not good is one thing. What else?
The sourcing tool which we are using, like Naukri portal or some other thing.
Maybe I do not have enough understanding of the profile. Number one.
I'm just talking of the reasons why conversion is less. The one reason could be
There would be
the
backouts.
quality of candidate is not good.
There are more backouts that is happening, competition in the market.
Again, backouts are happening because again the candidates they don't commit, they run away, they back out. Why do they back out? That means somewhere you are not identifying them well.
Exactly.
Somewhere you are bringing in candidates that cannot be trusted or that are non-serious.
So my this skill, what do you say, the skill that you gauge people, right?
Correct. So
Assessing
now,
skill is something that maybe needs to be worked
right,
on.
that could be one thing. Other thing could be ki since the wrong profiles are coming to you, somewhere you are not been able to create a document that can attract the right audience. Maybe the job posting that you have created or a job description that you have created, it's not to the point. So I have to train you on how to create a job description, I have to train you how to screen the candidates. So the two learning objectives that could be, you know, to improve the quality of candidates. Let's say a learning objective is to improve the quality of candidate. I'm just taking a very vague thing. If this is the learning objective, I have to train Akalya on how to get a better quality of candidates so that the conversion or that level performance improves. To do this, what do I need to train her? And that what will be your learning enabling objective. If I have to train you on how to screen good candidates, maybe I'll have to train you on the screening methods. Maybe I'll have to train you a little on communication, how to express, how to listen well, how to, understand and evaluate them. These becomes your enabling objective. So you have learning objective, then you have enabling objective. And once enabling objectives are done, based on these enabling objectives, you design a training program. उसकी आंखों से लग रहा है अभी भी कितनी कंफ्यूज हो रही है.
No,
No,
sir.
I'm still
I can
no,
give
I'm,
you.
just, I'm still assimilating actually.
I know. I can, though I can only
Yeah.
see your eyes and I can make it out.
Okay.
You're still wondering.
Sir, like in my case, the terminal learning objective of the training as such was to make us have knowledge and to apply this in a practical life, the training, right? So what happened is now today I had a call from my ex-boss. He had some positions open. So he want you to close some, he's given me 2-3 JDs. Oh, please work on that and help me. So first question I asked was, please tell me what competencies you want. So he said, okay, I'll add that also and give. So so does that mean it was one of the output which came because of the training? Because earlier I would ask only send me the JD, not the competencies or what you required. I'm just asking.
This is one change. This is one change, and this can lead you to a better performance. It will lead or not, I don't know. Time will tell. But this could be one change that could lead. So, your learning objective, to be very short, if I say, you wanted to experience how HR works. You have read theories, you have worked in some parts, but you didn't have that complete feel of HR. Lakshmi, first thing when she came to me was, I want simulation. And she was referred to me by a friend of mine. And he also said, he sent me a message that this lady, she wants a simulation. I said, let me understand what simulation. So that was your learning objective. The enabling objective I told you was do some assignment, do some activity, create something for a business, and then you will learn. So what you are doing currently for Edmingle is your enabling objective, so that you eventually learn how HR functions. Now let me come back to Akalya. Yes, Akalya.
So normally when we are talking about objectives, we are talking that it is completely on the participant side and not on the
Correct.
instructor side,
Correct.
right? So that is where I'm, so all the examples that we took, I mean, it is kind of a bit confusing to me. That's all.
You have been
I don't, I think I'm the
you
only
have been
one.
confused by Ramla Brash. let me
that.
not talk about it. I'll tell you know.
Can I just
Yeah,
add one thing?
please.
Yeah, Ishwar.
I had written a TLO over here. After listening to all those things, कि this training program will enable the learner to learn the skills of screening the quality candidates
Mhm.
and improving the result by 25% within 1 month of application. Means I have put the measurable part also, the task is also there, and the observable behavior is also there.
Mhm.
How it will work out. Means understanding about this TLO, it is better to write a objective which covers the behavioral part, the application part,
ये
and
लड़की
also the measurable part.
ये लड़की सुनते सुनते सो जाएगी, नहीं समझ में आएगा.
I'm not sleeping.
Your
I'm
son,
thinking.
your son is studying or yet to start his studies.
No, there are no schools, right? So he's happily enjoying his time.
Otherwise, if schools
Yeah.
online भी नहीं होता है.
नहीं, pre-KG सब कुछ भी नहीं है ना अभी.
See, let us come out of this. Again, coming back. Let's take your thing only, or let's take any of the individual. Let's say an individual performance is not good at the job. You were doing about that SaaS thing, and you were doing on service now, no? Last time you took an example where you were asking them to, you were organizing some training program on service, no? Or what was that software that you were working on?
Salesforce.
Salesforce.
Yeah.
You're doing some training programs, no?
Yeah.
Why were you doing those training programs?
Because they lacked the product knowledge, and because of which they were unable to give proper updates to the clients.
So the problem was, what were they not giving to clients?
Updates about if even if that in that product that service was there available, because our sales people were not updated about it, okay, so they missed out on selling. So if question was asked on it, instead of saying yes this is there, they were saying no it's not there.
Good.
So
So they
because
were not
they didn't
able
have
to,
enough product knowledge.
correct. So they were not able to position the product well.
Yeah.
So you did a training program.
Yeah.
What
Continuous interventions.
What was the purpose of that intervention?
To keep them updated about the product. Any new updates that are happening, they should be aware of it.
So that was kind of a
Continuous learning, yeah.
that
of
was
the
kind
product.
of a learning objective
Yeah,
to give them better understanding of the product.
right,
That was the purpose.
right.
And what was the training on?
Product training.
Acha, you had not delivered it.
No, I will not.
So someone had delivered it.
Yes.
Someone would have delivered him while taking a training, maybe 10 topics on Salesforce, or 10 features of Salesforce, or certain aspect of Salesforce would have
No,
been
this
covered.
was happening every month, okay, and it was given by one of our delivery heads who was working on
Correct,
Salesforce.
correct.
So,
Now this delivery head would have created some structure of the program, no?
yeah, so any update that would happen in that particular month, right, in that particular product, he'll just come and talk about these features, that this was the way it was, now this has been introduced.
Before coming for the session, at least in his mind he would have created a structure,
Right.
what he will talk about, what he will
There
touch
used to be
base,
PPTs that used to happen.
and those
right.
those were your enabling objective. Ki what I will cover in this session that will help them learn the product feature which they can present it well to the customer.
Okay. Okay, got it. Okay.
So my objective is to lose 15 kgs of weight. That is my terminal objective. What is the enabling objective? I'll go for a walk every day. I'll do some exercise every day. I'll control my diet. What are the actions that I'm taking to achieve those goals? These actions are my enabling objective.
Right. Okay. Got it.
So terminal learning is a final goal and enabled is the breakups towards the final goal.
Correct.
Okay. Got it. The sub objectives that we talked now.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
I will do one thing. I will share one example on it. One problem statement, then what I did, and a complete thing on it. Go through it, understand it. Next session, where I can take your doubts,
Okay.
and then I'll tell you about those instructional design methodologies, and we'll wind up learning and development, and we'll move towards the last leg of this module, the performance management.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Chalo, good night, Akulya.
I'm not sleeping. Right. Okay.
So, anything else, Lakshmi? Let me first stop the recording also.